The Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns play football in the NFL, and we are here to get you guys ready for the preview. Let's go.
Brace yourself for the ultimate Carolina Panthers experience. Welcome to Two Growls, One Roar, the podcast that hits harder than a Luke Kuechly tackle. We're diving deep into the heart of Panther Nation, bringing you unrivaled passion, insider takes, and pure gridiron fire. From Wilmington to the cosmos, this is your home for the fiercest football talk east or west of Charlotte.
Well, folks, we finally have football back. We're excited for it. I'm excited to see it. Sure, it's the preseason. I don't know how much I'm going to buy into the hype of what we get, but I'm hopeful for some competitive football and that we get to see whatever version of the offense, whatever version of the defense that's out there that looks like a decent football team against the Cleveland Browns. Now, before we get too far into our discussion, every now and then we get some new folks on the channel that maybe just haven't been following along on the journey. And in some cases, we get crazy comments, which is fine. It's comical. Sometimes you have people that'll tell you, you need to speed up. You need to jump right into the content. You need to do this. You need to do that. Buddy, folks, no. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, you know how we run this show. You know how I run the show. I'm a one-person show that does what I want to do. The format that I've been doing seems to be working well. And it's not, it's about 1% of the random weirdos out there that don't like the way that I do it. And that's okay. Guess what? You can unsubscribe. You don't have to listen to me just like spills like this. You don't have to. But guess what? We're going to keep making content. We're going to keep growing. And it is much appreciated for you fine folks that are tuning into this show. Now, we're coming off of joint practice. And yes, I feel like the Panthers fan base to a certain extent, and I'm in that, but trying not to be too far into it, hyping this up a little bit. Now, I'm not saying there's people like head over heels that the Panthers dominated, but there's some. I think we have to just reel it in a little bit because, one, we can go back to last year with the Jets joint practice and the Carolina Panthers looking halfway decent and thinking, okay, you know what? Carolina Panthers hung with the Jets. We expected the Jets to be a good team. Turns out they were a bad team. We weren't a great team either. And that's how this thing unfolds. Now, when we talk about the Cleveland Browns, we have to acknowledge the fact that that team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, there's not a lot there. Defensively, yeah, I think they're going to figure it out. But I'm not holding my breath that this team has got it, especially when we talk about the quarterback situation. So I don't know how much I'm going to hang my hat on a victory from a joint practice. I think I speak for the realist of the fan base that says, hey, this is great. It'd be even better if we get a win just because it's good to build a winning culture. But we really want to turn our attention to the Houston Texans. That's more of a test. We are going to get a joint practice, which is going to be nice. We're going to take that. That is when we kind of hope, start to see exactly who this Carolina Panthers team is. We won't get everything, but we'll get the reports and updates as we get through it. Of course, Houston reporting on it, no access to the public. And you know what? As we talk about this piece of training camp, it's a good point to acknowledge that as far as fan participation, this would have been it. So all this moping and groaning that you may have for, man, we can't attend training camp or we couldn't attend it, like that's done. Once you get into the first preseason game, like fans would have not been back anyways. So just remember that. Like you get into the preseason, the first game comes through, fans wouldn't be there because you then get into more of your week by week game schedules. And so just, you know what? Another year to wait. I'm hoping they get ahead of schedule, but just based off of the images we could see from afar, maybe not. I don't know how much work they're going to be able to accomplish. Hopefully they get it done. And then, man, we're still going to have to worry about the stadium renovations that are going to come along with this as well as we get to it. So we have that to think about. But anyways, it's kind of funny to sit here and think about Bryce Young. And I'm jumping ahead. We are going to talk about the Browns again, but jumping ahead to next week. for us to sit here and think about the paths of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. One, I want both of these guys to be successful. Everyone. So I watch Anthony Richardson tonight, part of this class, get his hand banged up, get just destroyed very early in the game. Hopefully that pans out. I don't know. That whole situation seems like it's a train wreck. I don't have a lot of faith in everything that's there. We're not here to talk about that. If you think about the success CJ Stroud had, even though Bryce Young beat him head to head, it felt like these guys were going on two distinctly different paths, and it was always the wrong choice. The Carolina Panthers took Bryce Young. And then things kind of settled in a little bit. CJ Stroud became more human. Bryce Young figured out how to play. And so now you kind of got a good mix. I truly think so between these guys. We're not going to see each other that often just based off of where they are in the NFC and AFC. So you're not going to cross paths frequently. But when they do, it'll be good to see. And again, at least from all accounts, Dave Canales probably going to want to play some of the starters in that game. So I'm excited to see it. But I only bring that up because you think about everyone writing Bryce Young off. And I was in the mix with it. And for this to be the situation where, what if Bryce Young kind of takes the lead here? I think that's why you can't make decisions on any of these guys until you see it play out a little bit and go from there. At any rate, let's get into it. This is not going to be your official game breakdown. Folks, I am excited for some things we're working on for you guys to make this a better Panthers experience, to make it a better sports experience. There's a lot of things that we're trying to cook up. Primarily, some of you guys know that have followed me. About a year ago, we launched a website. I didn't maintain it. It stopped. We put it off. I am looking to revive the website because there's certain things, primarily these presentations that I do, in ways that I can incorporate some of the stuff that we see in the thing I like about it is I know a lot of folks put together the slides, and I've done it. I've done it numerous times, but you can only see what's there, when it's presented. And what I want to do is be able to create a resource, a place for people to access what I'm showing you and be able to go to it whenever you want. And I'm looking at some interactive things, some season simulators as far as the team. There's a lot of fun stuff that we're looking to do. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But with that said, we're here to talk football. Friday night football, that is, August 8th, 7:30 p.m. at Bank of America Stadium. It will be on the NFL Network, your Panthers television network, for those here locally. I'm guessing NFL Network's going to black it out if you're in the Carolinas. If it's in market, you'll have to check your local TV. I'm just guessing. We'll be on the radio, and it will be on the I was looking at the Panthers television network is where it said. It'll be on 98.7 Modern Rock here in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is amazing. My man Randy Slack was able to help get the rights to bring this in. So here we go. Let's throw up a little bit of content for you guys while we're all here. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, there was no practice today. It was more of a media walkthrough. Not a media walkthrough, it was more of a walkthrough without the media. Let's get our terminology correct here for you guys. We're gonna get to it here eventually. Nope. But it was no media access today, but a walkthrough, like we said. We're almost there. For whatever reason, we just can't get to it. So you're gonna have to give me a second while I do that. So and no pressers or anything like that, which it makes sense. Like you're pretty much getting to a game week, the game flow and the process that goes with that. And here we go. Now we got this up for you guys. Apologize. Sorry for the wait. As Lil Wayne likes to say or said, sorry for the wait. All right, folks, let's make this a little bit. Nope, you don't want to see me. You want to see this. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So, as I said, game day information, Friday, August 8th. No location, the TV. Maybe if you're a Browns fan, where you can watch, listen, satellite radio. How about this? A tale of two trajectories. So, this game is a clash between, of course, Bryce Young leading the helm. We know I don't know if we're going to see Andy Dalton. That's a storyline we haven't talked about. So probably a lot of Plummer, I would assume, unless Andy Dalton wants to dust off the rust. But it is a very different situation than the Cleveland Browns locker room. You look at the way Bryce Young finished out the season last year, 10 total touchdowns, 0 turnovers over that stretch. It's one of the things we continue to talk about, his performance and what that looked like. And I don't know why this is flipped because that's not correct there. So I don't know what I copied over wrong, but that's okay. But you do have the path of navigating the quarterback situation. And man, you've added Huntley in the mix. We know that Watson is on the mend, 6 quarterbacks, but we'll get to see a lot of Shedeur Sanders, I guess, the 5th-round pick. A lot of eyeballs will be there. Dillon Gabriel, we'll see. Kenny Pickett, probably not. Joe Flacco, probably not as well. I think the story for the Carolina Panthers in particular has been a lot around this retooling of the receiver position. Tedero McMillan, Hunter Renfrow, Jimmy Horn Jr. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of those guys. Bryson Tremaine. This is where some of those competition battles come alive, like guys on the tail end of the roster, and it's not just what they do when it comes to production on offense or defense, what they're also able to do with the special teams unit. The revitalization of the backfield with Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne, and of course Raheem Blackshear still in the mix. I was listening to What's Up Doug today. Lots of good content creators. I think there were like 3 or 4 of them going live at the same time. I will bring live shows back, by the way, but 3 to 4 at the same time. They had Dennis Cox of 99 The Fan out of Raleigh, who also has the Panthers Playbook podcast. Always like to plug awesome people. And I did ask him, I was like, if you had to decide what's more likely, that the Panthers keep 4 running backs or 7 receivers, he said that they would keep 7 receivers. And the only reason I brought up 4 running backs is because at the moment, Raheem Blackshear is listed as your starter for kick return and punt return. Now we know there's a mixture of guys behind him that can do that. I think I agree with that sentiment, but I'm curious to see, like, once we get into this, what it's going to look like. Raheem Blackshear is a fantastic special teamer. So I do think there is possibility that someone would want to pick him up because he does have that value. And with the updated rules, there's a place for him to fit into the mix. Like, no doubt about it. Now, for the Cleveland Browns, there's just a lot going on there outside of Watson. Like we said, you have Myles Garrett. He gets his massive contract. I mean, this guy is a monster. The production that he has year over year is something that, I hope that we eventually get that. Maybe out of both of our picks, we get that 16 total sacks, 17 sacks, whatever it is between the two of them, because we need the pressure. Need some pressure, need some sacks. I am excited to see Scorton and Uman. What are those guys going to look like? We've seen a lot of good highlights. We've heard some things in camp. Time to see it put into action. Of course, the biggest thing that we want out of this is a healthy recovery. Like, let's just get out of this thing. No major injuries. Everyone's good. We move on to the next week and keep building from there. It's right around the corner, though. You look at how much the Carolina Panthers spent in free agency on the defensive side of the ball, a little over $130 million. It's a big investment. I know, you have people that are locked in and people that are not locked in, and someone commented today on a post and said, what did the Panthers do in free agency? And I was like, well, that's a loaded question. On the defensive side of the ball, and I mean, it was YouTube. I was on my phone and it was on a short. It's like, I cannot sit here and tell you every single thing that they did. They did a lot, and that's one of the takeaways. The run defense, like we've said. Curious to see how the secondary plays out. We know J.C. Horn with the thumb, not likely. He's not going to be out there. But, the Panther starters versus what will likely be a lot of depth pieces in place for the Cleveland Browns should be a good opportunity for the Panthers to show something. Now, they said, Dave Canales said 8 to 12 plays. That's about a drive, or at least that's what you would hope. Hopefully don't go 3 and out. But, I mean, wilder things have happened. These are professionals on both sides, no matter who is out there. So it's not like it is rookie mode and you're just going to put up a bunch of points and be guaranteed a touchdown to move the ball down the field. But it would be nice. Would be nice to have some continuity, see some big plays, get some guys out. And then we got a bunch of depth rotation that we can throw out there. So just kind of getting going and seeing what that's going to look like. There are some nice pieces. Again, I don't know if Schlesinger for Cleveland's going to play. We'll see if Mason Graham potentially, but it would be a nice little mix there to be able to see them as we get into it. Of course, the specialist return game in play, just like I said. I know Raheem Blackshear's there, but possibly some Jimmy Horn Jr., Trevor Etienne. Going to assume that we're not going to see Hunter Renfrow. So it's kind of the way that I think this thing's going to play out, just seeing who are the additional guys and the reps that they're going to get. And the one and only infamous kicking battle. And folks, the kicking battle in Carolina it scares me. It's a problem. The Carolina Panthers got some things to work through. Like, hands down, I know I'll continue to say that there's a reason, I guess, at this point, Eddie Pinheiro has not been picked up. So maybe the Panthers were right from that sense. But I don't know that they're right with what they have in Matthew Wright and Ryan Fitzgerald. I don't know that the solution is there. And I would hate to get into this season and have that as your biggest question mark, because I do think it's a big one. Like, outside of some of the positional groups we talked through, safety, cornerback, the cornerback depth, I like to say, inside linebackers, you're like, we got to figure out this kicker. And I have not been given any hope from all accounts with the misses, even on the skinny goalpost, but even at Fan Fest and having the regular goalpost used with practice against the Browns. I don't know. I don't know how much I'm buying into it, but I guess we're going to have to just let it play out as we go through. As always, folks, appreciate you guys tuning in like you always do. This is Carolina Dad giving you a preview for the Cleveland Browns. If you're still here, hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening on your podcast and need the 5 stars, man, go out, give me a review, keep boosting the numbers, help us do fun things. And you know what? Y'all have a good one. We'll be back after some Carolina Panthers football.